P3C 2026, Craig Dawkins, you're here. Flew in. What were your goals coming in to this conference?
We managed to build up quite a good network here in the US without having boots on the ground, which is really good. So good opportunity for me to catch up with familiar faces, meet some new customers as we've been able to build over the last couple of years, and just network more and help people understand that actually this kind of software exists in the market and should be used on these projects. You know.
So, your company's Affinitex.
It is
An amazing piece of software. It uses AI now. It's got some self-learning inbuilt into it.
Yeah.
So, what does Affinitex exactly do?
So in a nutshell, we help people understand and manage their contracts, and not just any old contracts. The reason we're here is because the contracts are associated with P3s and generally sort of major infrastructure projects. They're really complex, right? And they invariably change over time. You need some kind of software to help understand and manage those contracts to stay on top of them.
So, are you telling me that Affinitex helps me conquer complex contracts?
Well, that's interesting you say that. Because yes, it absolutely does.
Absolutely does. That's actually your tagline. I remember I just looked you up on the internet, so I think that's fantastic. So
if it hadn't have been, we would have pinched that and used it.
Exactly. So. You should have. I should have. So now one of the cool features of Affinitex is its AI capabilities.
Right.
Why can't I just drop a comprehensive agreement or a P3 contract or any complex contract into any of the large language models out there? What makes AI? What makes Affinitex AI different? Why is it different?
Well, first of all, you say what's to stop you doing it? I mean, you can do it. There's nothing to stop you doing it. I would advise against it, and there are two reasons for that, and it's really around data. So it's around structured data and conformed data. I think that the biggest issue is standard AI models, standard AI tools are only ever going to be able to read a contract as a plain PDF, plain text, because that's what they're designed to be, right? That's how they're filed, that's how they're stored. But the contracts that we're talking about here are incredibly complex. They're very high value, they're long term, they're very high stakes contracts that are complex with a very complex structure behind them. And you need to be able to understand that structure, and standard AI tools can't do that. So just to give you an example, if a clause refers to, I don't know, section 4.B C, that's been amended in Amendment 7 or whatever it happens to be, standard AI is going to get very confused with that. It's not going to be able to follow that flow. And in fact, in that very, well, that example that I very poorly articulated, it raises a very interesting point, because these contracts they're designed to be, contracts by nature are designed to be static. That's why they're signed in a PDF document. But these contracts don't stay still.
They're living, aren't they? They're a
change.
Living, breathing document for the next 50, 60 years.
Yeah, you try and run AI over a project agreement and 12 amending agreements. It's very quickly going to get confused.
Yeah.
It's not going to understand the contracts as it stands today. So in order for AI to be really, really effective in interrogating these kind of contracts, you have to have a very intelligent structure, first of all. And you have to be pointing it at a fully conformed, up-to-date version of the contract.
So, up-to-date contract, is it harder to find an up-to-date contract in these public agencies? Are you finding that there are version variants?
Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So how are they managing this then?
Well, I would say without Affinitex, very...
cumbersome, right?
It's really cumbersome. because you can never really be sure. And you've got multiple contracting parties looking at these contracts, right? It's not just one contracting party. There are various stakeholders involved. And you need to make sure that they're all on the same page. So how do you know? How do you know that what you're looking at is the live contract, is the contract as it stands today? How do you know that this clause hasn't been amended or this defined term hasn't been amended? In a simple structure, if you've got these kind of documents in SharePoint, you're really never going to know.
So we've got Affinitext. They've got a
Start.
They've got a, yeah, exactly. So we've got Affinitext with their pretty awesome, powerful AI components.
Yeah.
Okay. How do you guarantee that AI that you have doesn't run into hallucinations and starts to literally just repeat garbage?
Yeah.
Because we're seeing that a lot with these large language models.
Yeah.
Once it gets into a death spiral, you can't get the model out.
Yep.
How does Affinitext guarantee accuracy at the end of the day?
Yeah, that's a really good point. I'd be careful using the word guarantee. But you're right.
Give me confidence, all right? Let's take guarantee, confidence. I want confidence.
That's what it's about. You need to have confidence. You raise a really good point about hallucination. First of all, Affinitext presents a noise-free version of the contract. So it's analyzing. It doesn't go outside of the contract. It's analyzing the live version. So it's a validated, up-to-date version. So that's what it's focused on. But I would say that as amazing as AI is today, and it's getting better every single day, billions of dollars getting invested into AI, you still, to your point, you still can't fully trust the answer that it's giving back. You have to be able to validate it. So that's one of the key things. I sense there's another question coming out here,
but that's because let me interject right now. That am I replacing my lawyers?
No, I would say you're empowering the people that are living these contracts day to day.
So it's literally a live action tool that I can use to triage things before I get a lawyer involved.
Yes, absolutely.
But
again, you can't rely on the results that it's bringing back. You have to be able to validate it. So that's one of the key things.
Give me an indication of where we should look.
No, absolutely. But one of the key things of running Affinitek, using Affini AI within the platform, is with just a single click, you can bring up the source of the results. You can bring up the source of that answer, so you can validate it in real time.
Okay.
So you've got that human validation. You can say, okay, this is the answer it's giving me. Where did it get that from? Is it correct? So you've got that reassurance.
So this is more of a day-to-day tool.
Oh, for sure.
So I can use Affinitext and you called it Affini AI. I just picked up on that. So Affini AI is your AI plugin. Does that cost anything more?
Oh, that's a loaded question.
Right. Is it embedded in the software?
It is, but it's optional, right? Because it's one of our clients being Ministry of Defence in the UK, and they have, as you can imagine, pretty strict rules about the use of AI, and we get that. That's absolutely fine. So we're not enforcing it on our customers. It's optional,
but it really empowers me as a contract administrator.
There's a huge amount of value.
Wow.
Huge amount of value. It would save hours and hours of time. It would deliver in seconds what it would take an expert, a contract expert, to do in hours.
All right. So let me ask a question then.
Okay.
All right. So I'm a contract administrator.
Yeah.
I'm spending hours and hours and hours a day trying to read these contracts.
Yeah.
How does Affinitext, let's take Affini AI out for a second.
Sure.
The base Affinitext. How do you have any data on how many hours I can save per year or per month?
Yeah, it's an interesting one, because we actually had one of our customers measure that themselves. So Jacobs, who uses Affinitext on Fargo Moorhead, it's a big P3 and well-known P3 here in the US.
Yes.
And they measured it. So they said a very simple search that would take 30 minutes manually would take less than 5 within Affinitext. So I think they measured it at, if I'm getting my calculations correct, it was something like an 83% time saving. That's just from
Just from a quick triaging of an issue.
That's just core Affinitext. That's not even using the power of AI.
So I can actually not only save time doing this, I can probably save money, right? Because I don't have to, well, time is money.
Yeah.
But I don't have to go and bug my law firm or my legal teams to go and look something up. I can actually rely on the system, the Affinitext system, to be able to give me a pretty accurate description.
Sure.
That I can run up the flagpole if needed.
Yep. We've had clients that have justified the investment just on that alone.
That's
absolutely
insane.
Yeah.
So, okay, clients, like who are some of your big clients? Are you allowed to mention some of them? You mentioned Ministry of Defence UK.
Yes, NAB, and I threw in Jacobs there as well. I think what's interesting, I mean, we've got hundreds. We've been doing this for 20 years, so we've got hundreds of clients. One of the interesting things being here this year is the showcasing the SR400, nice. Georgia DOT's SR400.
Oh, so Georgia is implementing Affinitext.
They have implemented Affinitext and been using it for some time. In fact, they took a real best practice approach, in our view, a best practice approach, in that as soon as that reached financial close, those contracts came into Affinitext for conversion.
Okay, so let's just say I'm a owner,
right,
that has a P3 that's been in operations for 3 or 4 years. Is it harder for me to implement Affinitext now, as opposed to say SR400, which was straight after close?
It's not. It's not at all. I mean, we actually do all the heavy lifting. So all we ask is that the documents get uploaded to a secure site, and we take care of the rest. It just means there'll be more to it. There's likely to be amending agreements that we'll conform and we'll factor in.
So how long does it take from sending you the documents to having access to the system?
This question always amuses me because I always find myself having to be careful with the answer. The stock answer on that and what our delivery team will always want me to say is 4 to 6 weeks. The reality is, I'm not sure I've seen one take that long. We did one just recently in 2. So I think the software itself runs the conversion really, really quickly. What takes the extra time is the human quality assurance that we add into the process.
So you do a lot of QA QC to guarantee the accuracy. Right?
We've built our business based on quality and accuracy, and so you can't just rely on software to do its magic thing and deliver it back. We have to make sure that everything's doing what it should be doing before delivering it back to the client.
So you've got a mix of public and private sector clients then. This is just not a public sector tool.
And actually, no. And within the private sector, we see it right across the board. So we have project codes, we have construction companies, we have FM providers, hard FM, soft FM. And in the best cases, they're actually all using Affinitext. So all stakeholders are using a single version of the truth through Affinitext. There's some great
version of the truth.
There's some great case studies on that. Really, really good.
Okay, single version of the truth powered by AI.
There you go.
That's Affinitext.
That's Affinitext.
All right. So if I'm interested in accessing Affinitext with its AI, right? What do I need to know? Right, what are the? There has to be a catch, right? What's the catch, Craig?
First of all, there's a cost associated to it. It's not free software. I would add that it's a mere fraction of the value that's delivered. But there's really no catch. I mean, that's I would say reach out to me, reach out to one of my colleagues. We'll start the process. I think for us, the most important thing is there a fit? Can we deliver value? More often than not, the answer is yes, but let's establish that and go from there.
So one of the themes here at P3C 2026 is the adoption of technologies.
Yeah.
All right. Do you think that DOTs are adopters or deniers when it comes to technology?
I don't think there's a standard answer for that. I really don't. I mean, just using GDOT as an example. Huge adopter. Others not so much. I'm not going to name names, but we're in situations where they understand the value and they're having difficulty getting that approved. So state procurement can be a challenge.
So would you agree with this statement? The future of complex contract management is hinged on the adoption of AI.
That's an interesting statement. I would say understanding the value that delivers, the power of, I mean, it's transforming the way people interrogate their contracts. To that end, I would say, yes, that's an accurate statement.
So if we're not looking at AI, we're not looking at the long-term solution, right?
I think you're missing out on a huge amount of value if you're not considering AI to help interrogate your contracts.
So public owners, 6 to 8 weeks, they can be up and racing with Affinitext and Affini AI, actively managing their contracts.
Less than that.
Less than that. You heard it here today. P3C 2026, less than that from Craig Dawkins.
Absolutely.
So words of wisdom. I always like to do words of wisdom,
right.
Craig. What are your words of wisdom for the industry when it comes to AI adoption?
I would say, well, first of all, don't be scared of it. Don't be scared of using AI. But I think the key message from me would be, and it's an old adage, right? But it's quality in, quality out. Make sure you're feeding AI high quality, intelligently structured and fully conformed data, and then you'll get high quality answers.
I love it. I love it. So quality matters.
Quality matters.
So one last question, and I'm very curious about this. What is the level of training and support that Affinitext provides their clients?
We provide full support, 24/7 support. Every client gets a customer success manager. What I would say is the software is highly intuitive. So we'll deliver a 1-hour training session, and that's normally all people need. There's help within the platform itself. If people get stuck, if they haven't used it for a while and they've forgotten something, there's help available right there. But we're available as well. So all the support's there, but it's a very, very intuitive tool.
Are you able to give people demonstrations and proof of concepts?
Absolutely. More than happy to do that.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it speaks for itself, so more than happy to do that.
And they just have to reach out to you in the North American market, right?
Reach out to me.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, Craig, thank you so much, mate.
Appreciate it. Yeah, great chatting to you, Thomas. Good to see you again.
Yeah, likewise, mate. Have
Thanks.
a good one.